All right. All right. All right, so let's just look at some basic facts. Okay. All right, this is a map of the world, okay? As you can see, so the color scheme is this. The red is where the population, the society has an above replacement fertility rate, okay, so above 2.1. If it's dark red, like here in the middle of Africa, it's 6 to 7 or 6 above, okay? And why is it that the case? Because Africa is in a situation where it's a growing society with middling tech, so a lot of people die, lots of competition, so to survive, families have to give birth to a lot of kids, okay? They have no choice in the matter. But then you move to the rest of the world, okay? So this is North America, Europe, and East Asia, the 3 wealthiest parts of the world. And guess what? The fertility rate is collapsing because now we've entered the end game where it is overpopulation, too much wealth, so too much inequality. And so women are forced to pick the best possible mate or not have children at all. All right? And here the situation is very, very dire. North America and Europe are kind of okay. Why? Because of immigration. Because even though their women are not having children, they can choose to import people for their labor force. But East Asia is really, really screwed, guys, okay? So just look at this region. Okay, so China is 1, but the worst is South Korea. South Korea has the lowest population the lowest fertility rate in the world. They're at between 0.6 to 0.8. So they're probably gone in 50 years' time. It's so bad that when you go to South Korea, they have signs outside restaurants that says, no dogs and no kids. They think that kids are a problem, okay? So you look at these areas, again, they are poorer, so women are forced to have more children in order to survive, okay? But you look at wealthy areas, well, they're probably gone in 100 years' time. Okay? It's total collapse. The solution that governments are choosing right now is to import immigrants, okay? So these are the trends right now. And it's causing a lot of disruption in society because guess what, guys? People don't like outsiders. People don't like immigrants. But they don't have a choice in the matter because along with the fertility crisis, it's the aging crisis where your population is getting older and older, okay? So the world is not that simple. If you want to know who will rule the world in 100 years' time, just figure out in which society do wealthy, well-educated women choose to have children, and then that society will rule the world. Okay? It's that simple, right? Well, unfortunately, if you do it that way, you get a really, really disturbing answer. Okay? So this is per capita GDP, okay? So how much people make. All right? So obviously, if you're 0, you're very poor, and if you move to over here, you're very wealthy. Okay, so the United States is the wealthiest society in the world, right? Sure, we can understand that. Then this is the fertility rate, which tells us how many children women have on average. Okay, so again, 2.1 is replacement rate, okay? 2.1 is replacement rate. So the United States is actually below replacement rate, but the United States doesn't really care because it can import immigrants, okay? China is probably around here somewhere, okay? Angola is up here, but it's poor. So what this map tells us is a country that is most likely to be dominant for the next 50 years is this country, Israel, okay? It is the only wealthy, Western, high-tech society in which women choose to have more than 2 kids. Okay, this is what game theory teaches us. And yeah, I know there are people who are like, yeah, but Israel, it has 9 million people. And it's in the middle of a desert. And everyone hates Israel. I understand that. Thank you very much, okay? I understand that. But if you just analyze how the game works, okay? If you just look at it objectively from a game theory perspective, you are forced to conclude that Israel right now has the major advantage over everyone else. Now, it is possible that societies will change the fertility rate as the world changes, okay? But I'm saying that given the current state of things, Israel, their growth trajectory is very, very high. But then the question then is, okay, why is it that Israel, they are different from everyone else? And the answer is because the world hates them, okay? Because they think they are different from everyone else and they must unite together to survive. So in Israel, fertility is status, okay? If you are a woman and you give birth to a lot of kids, that means that you love Israel. That means that you are doing what you can in this war for survival. It means you are a patriot. Okay? But this has to do with religion. So, what the West has done is not only has it created a dating game where a woman can choose to have kids, but the Western world has also given up on religion and embraced materialism, right? So what is valued in our world, in the West, it's not patriotism or love of family or religious duty, it's just how many Instagram followers you have. It's how many YouTube subscribers you have. It's how much money you have. Okay, that's all that matters. So given the current state of events, it's very hard for the Western world and really for China to survive for the next 50 years, okay? And I know like, well, China has 1 billion people, so even though, you know, we're only giving birth to 10 million kids a year, we'll still be around for a long, long time, okay? So at this rate, by 2100, China will be at a population of about 600 million. That's still a lot of people, man. Okay. Here's the problem though. Okay. This is South Korea. Okay. South Korea is like the worst case scenario. And for South Korea, this is actually the best case scenario where, okay, given current trends, and let's just pretend that nothing bad happens to South Korea. Well, by the year 2100, you'll have a situation like this where the vast majority of people are over 65 and you have no kids, okay? That is a zombie society where no one works and everyone just, I don't know, walks around the park every day. No one works, so the economy has collapsed. Okay, so look at this trend where we are now in here, okay, where the majority, it's still a working population, which is good, you need that for the economy, but by the time you hit 2040, okay, you've got this huge dependency and a cratering population, okay? You guys see this, where we are? Okay, so we're at 2020, right, okay, all right, so it's still not too bad, but by the time you hit 2040, look at this. Okay, look at this, where you have absolutely no kids, and then you have lots and lots of retirees, okay? And then, by the time you hit 2060, oh my God, right? Your population, your working population has decreased by half, by 50%, all right? So, if things stay the same, if nothing happens, South Korea will be dead in, I don't know, by 2150, okay? Best case scenario. But what we know from history is that societies do not die naturally. Eventually, South Korea will be forced into wars, economic crisis. So this trend will just increase. And so if North Korea got past 2080, I'd be very surprised, okay? I'd be surprised by 2040, South Korea were to face collapse as a nation state. Okay? Because you need these people to work, but guess what? You also need them to fight wars. So if North Korea ever threatens South Korea, most of your adult population would be dead. Okay? So South Korea cannot fight a war now. The prospects for South Korea is utterly hopeless. There's nothing South Korea can do about this because South Korea is an extremely materialistic society where the only way to get ahead is by making a lot of money, okay? And if you're a middle-class person in South Korea, it makes no sense for you to have 3 kids. It makes sense for you to have 1 kid and put all your resources into this 1 kid in the hopes that he passes the college examination, gets into a good university, and then gets a good job at Samsung, which is the only company in South Korea, okay? Samsung. Right? So the situation is pretty dire in South Korea.